so they should have some coverage from the air quickly. Oh, onto the center divider. Look at this. Over.
Oh.
Wow. This, I believe this is maybe a Chevy doing a little off-roading there, getting on top of that divider. It's going to be a lot easier for CHP because they're in an SUV, but yeah, getting pretty desperate here, Pat and Jeff.
Yeah, and that's too bad because, as you say, it's in afternoon traffic, a lot of folks out there, and as that driver gets desperate, so do law enforcement in terms of bringing this to an end. I noticed, well, he's made a number of wild turns there, and according to our map tracker, he's not driving very fast.
No, this is surface streets here. CHP, one unit in pursuit that started at 605 in Beverly. We do not know what the want is, but Des, do we know how the damage occurred to the back of that Chevy four-door?
You know, I mean, that's still unclear at this point as well. I'm definitely wondering if that had something to do with the reason why CHP is in pursuit. You know, one of the things that sometimes we've seen are, you know, felony hit and runs initiating pursuits, but that's just conjecture at this point. So yeah, not very high speed so far. When he was on the freeway, it was pretty.
Well, what is
okay.
this?
Yeah, Pat and Jeff, thanks to our assignment desk letting us know that apparently this driver has been involved in multiple road rage incidents in the Antelope Valley. And look at this, you know, not afraid to go over the center divider, wrong side of the roadway, turning back around. So, you know, we've got wanted for road rage, and it's kind of showing out here.
Well, you know, you said multiple road rages, so you know most people who are looking at this are wondering, well, you know, maybe he needs to be, they're going to wonder why he's back on the streets, able to just be involved in more road rages, you know, even for the first time around. And again, not exactly sure. I guess this is his vehicle since they know who this person is.
Yeah, you got to think that they ran the plate on this guy at least, so they know who the driver is, or at least the person that was involved. Several road rage incidents. I would assume that was all from earlier today, making that severe hairpin turn going the opposite direction now. That one CHP unit in pursuit. This all started just moments ago. The Chevy four-door did not stop when police tried to engage him at 605 in Beverly. You see the damage in the back of this vehicle. Could have been, Pat, possibly done by that road rage, whether he backed into somebody or somebody hit him. But you know how those situations can really, really escalate when it comes to road rage, and that's what we're looking at today.
All right, and you know what, Desmond, when you said multiple road rages, I didn't know if you meant today or in general, because if it's in general and for them to know who this person is, then yeah, you wonder why in the heck that he's back on the street so quickly behind the wheel of a car. Well, now he's in a pickle. Well, maybe not.
Whoa,
Desmond.
Look at this. Oh, geez, just going perpendicular to the roadway here. You got these folks in you know, in front here just going, what is this guy doing?
Well, the truck
and
is moving out the way.
Just getting, you know, incredibly erratic. Now wrong side of the roadway going south as he tries to evade CHP. I'll ask my pilots going through that red light if they have. Does CHP have their helicopter overhead? Ryan is shaking his head. They do not have their helicopter overhead, so we're gonna, you know, do our part to help the to help the ground unit out and make sure that this guy isn't getting away. But now, as I just ride out really quickly, we see. I'm wondering if CHP is backing off for now. I mean, it sounds like they know who this person is.
75.
You know, where it's registered out of the Antelope Valley, and for those road rage incidents. So we'll see if this is one of those incidents where CHP wants to let this one go and get him
later,
you know, at a time when it's safer for the public.
Yeah, I mean, they could run that tag and know where the guy lives. Obviously, take a right-hand turn into, this has got to be a commercial here. Des, what is this that he's going into?
Well, I hope it's not a motel, which is how we've seen the last three pursuits that I've covered end with. So let's hope that that's not happening on the wrong side of the road.
Oh,
again. Yeah, and on Washington Boulevard, really major street here. It's crazy the maneuvers this guy is doing to try to get away from the ground units. We did just hear that LA County Sheriff's deputies are actually going to have their helicopter come in here more quickly. Not sure if there's an issue with the CHP helicopter, but they're going to be coming to lend a hand. A lot of times the sheriffs have a helicopter in the air somewhere around the LA basin at any given time. So since they're probably already in the air, we should see them coming for some air coverage of this. Just going to widen out again, and there's that CHP unit, but kind of hanging back at this point as we are southbound on Rosemead headed towards the 5 freeway.
Okay, and this is so far, again, we've only seen one CHP vehicle behind this car. and still waiting for them to track it overhead. However, well, you have your eyes on this, and of course they've got to be in you know, communication with other units on the ground, I would imagine, but hanging back because of how erratic this guy is driving. And I say guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Des.
well, I just saw him squeeze between two vehicles there, and you can see we're getting into some really heavy traffic. That was a close one, really, really close.
Way
It
too
looked
fast.
like he just avoided running into the back of that car, but again over the
median.
center divider. It's just crazy.
There is a unit there too.
Almost. Yeah.
This is very aggressive driving. Very aggressive driving. There is a unit there hanging on as he continues to go in the opposite direction. So at least one CHP.
Oh, well,
almost
here
head
we
on.
go.
This is crazy. What is he doing?
And
really,
you know,
really crazy.
Oh, stop.
I think he might have scraped that car there.
And we still don't know,
Boy.
besides road rage, you wonder what else the want could be, because this is pretty, I'm going to use the word insane right now. This person really has no
Yeah.
regard for himself or other drivers on the road.
Oh my
and that's why
gosh.
this is extremely dangerous.
Total insanity.
And they really need to get, hopefully this will end with no one else being hurt, not even the driver himself, but this is just,
Oh, wow.
yeah, look at this.
Gosh, look how fast he's going. And he's in those other cars in the opposite direction,
Yeah, that's
going equally as
unbelievable.
fast, going so close, threading the needle here. It's
And doesn't
amazing.
care. He doesn't seem to have
Absolutely
any
no regard at all.
At all.
Yeah, this is insanity.
Okay, is he making some kind of motion out the window? He seems to, look at, oh, is he waving? That doesn't make the situation any better.
No, it sure looks like it. I wonder if he's taunting the sheriff's helicopter that just got overhead right now. We heard that that ground unit that we saw that was pretty aggressively in pursuit has backed off just because this guy is driving like such a lunatic out here. You know, we're seeing up to 50 miles an hour wrong side of the road, and
Onto
you
the
had, you know,
sidewalk.
Rosemead is a pretty fast a pretty fast surface street. So if you had, you know, other cars going that fast, you could have had a horrible head-on
he's gonna
collision.
park.
But
He's going to get out.
oh,
Is he gonna-
now
No,
he's-
it's on the
well,
sidewalk.
it seems like he's really determined to damage this vehicle. It just
He's
went
just one
over
of those-
basically over that
those road
little
horses.
parking strip right there, and
That
now
could have
onto
torn off the front of
Gatlin
that
and
vehicle.
yeah, absolutely could have done some
This is
real
a school
serious
zone
damage.
now.
So.
I just saw the school. Of course, 50 miles an
Yeah.
hour on these surface streets, very dangerous. Yeah, Des, I think
Yeah,
you're right. I don't
blasting
think
through
this guy's
stop
going to
signs.
stop. I wonder, could they? I mean, this is one of
Yeah.
those situations where they need to put the stop sticks down as soon as they can, but of course, that's hard to do.
The spike strip?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
when
yeah,
he's
to know where
when
he's gonna
driving
go.
the way he
Yeah.
is.
And going as fast as he's going. And is there necessarily a pattern here? I don't know. I'm asking you, Des. I know he was in the Pico Rivera area for a while. Now he's in Downey. So, I mean, in order for them to do that, they'd certainly have to contemplate where he's going to be next.
Yeah. Well,
Have
yeah,
you noticed
and a
a
pretty
pattern?
long way from home right now. No pattern at this point.
Yeah,
He's
out of
kind of been,
Lancaster,
just been
right?
drifting away from where this. Yeah, I mean, so this vehicle is registered in the Antelope Valley. The pursuit began in the Whittier area, we believe. Yeah, we had heard that the first streets we heard were Beverly in the 605, onto the center divider again, right up against these trees. Totally crazy driving by this person. If he's able to avoid any crashes with the way he's going over these center dividers, really fast there back onto the right side of the road. He's got to pop a tire or something at the rate he's going.
Kind of hope he does, because this is out of control, and this could end up very dangerous collision. It could end up look
could
how
hit
fast he's going. He
someone.
could hit
No,
somebody.
let that
He's
happen.
going through these intersections. There could be pedestrians. I mean, there's all kinds of dangerous things that could happen as a result of this driver just out of control, wanted for several road rage incidents. And this is the four-door Chevy you see there, the subject of this latest pursuit. And Pana did say at least, and he's going to now go back over the median. There is a CHP unit, and that unit doesn't appear to also be following it over, but staying with it, however.
He's again in the wrong side of traffic. Desmond, how many units now?
Oh,
Okay. We've been talking about
I believe
one
it's
behind.
still just the one.
All right, still just the one
Yeah,
unit behind.
And he's going to get lost here stuck in traffic for a little bit, because CHP does not want to do what he's doing and follow them onto the wrong side of the road. And I'm wondering if that's his tactic, almost daring the police to come and get him on the wrong side, maybe knowing that they won't take that drastic action, and it allows him to get some space at least from the ground unit. But remember that the sheriff's deputies are overhead as well, keeping a real close eye on this guy. So even if he's able
All right.
to evade them on the ground for a time. It's going to be really hard for him to shake him from the air.
All right, Desmond, we want to remind our viewers that you have joined CBS 2 News at 6 o'clock in progress. We started our newscast early because of this erratic, dangerous driver on the roads in Downey right now. This started at the 605 and Beverly. This is a four-door Chevy vehicle out of Lancaster. So as Desmond was saying, very long way from home. And Jeff, we have seen him drive, just doing some unbelievable moves on the wrong side of the road, driving over medians. He drove through a school district at an incredible amount of speed, as you see him now, really having no regard for people on the road or himself, apparently, and certainly not law enforcement.
He drove on the sidewalk. He went through a parking lot. And you just have a feeling that this is going to end in a crash, that this person just is not wanting to get into custody. This is somebody wanted for road rage, several incidents. As you see there on the right-hand side, that's pictures from earlier in this pursuit, in this chase. The aggressive nature of the driving there. One CHP unit is behind him, and Dez is upstairs in Sky 2 looking at
now
this.
He's in Bell Gardens. So Desmond, he's made some, you know, again, we were talking about this being out of Lancaster, and now he's in Bell Gardens. So he has certainly made some distance here. It's almost really unusual to see a person that has gone that far. And if he's been involved in that many road rage incidents and he's driven as far as he has.
Well, you got to think that he's not willing to stop.
No. And they haven't been able to, Desmond, there's not, you know, a whole heck of a lot they can do, I guess, at this point.
Well, they back off.
Follow him from the air and then to back off on the ground, but obviously keeping tabs of where he's going. So what do you think right now? He seems to, well, he's driving like over 50 miles an hour, but not the dangerous driving that we saw earlier.
Yeah, now that the ground units have kind of backed off again a little bit, we're seeing him perhaps calm down at least a spell. Well, maybe not. See what's the purpose of even doing that? There's not even a ground unit behind him. It's just strange, erratic driving. There's literally no point in him doing that maneuver that he just did. We did just hear, it sounded like there was some chatter between the two other helicopters up here. So we have the sheriff's deputies as well as, really close there, as CHP overhead, and they were communicating, and it sounds like CHP just said that they're not going to re-engage this driver unless he gets back on the freeway. So at this point, they're going to be monitoring from the air, seeing if, maybe if alerting all the ground units to his location, and just try to see if maybe he's going to stop somewhere, get out of the car, and then they can apprehend him. Otherwise, they may just wait until he gets back to where this is registered in the Antelope Valley, and they can deal with it then. But just the way that this was going with the insane driving by this person wanted for road rage, it sounds like that the ground units want to stay out of it, at least for now.
All right, so if that's the case, then this is more or less like a tracking this vehicle as it goes along.
Yeah. Well, Pat, a lot of times when they back off, they do kind of calm down, but this driver hasn't really showed that, although he's kind of doing it now.
Well, he is now.
But before.
And a few times, and it makes you wonder, because he's also driven up in like looked like a strip mall at some point, and we thought he was going to foot bail, but he hasn't done that. And I don't know, Desmond, I keep watching this person as much as I can see from the window. He seems to be like moving around a bit in there.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering, is there something in the back?
I think he's on his cell phone.
Yeah. Well, the windows are tinted out like they pretty much always are with pursuit vehicles. We're just going to double in while he is at a complete stop and see if we can peek inside. It looked like he was on his cell phone, maybe texting people about this or what have you, maybe looking for a lawyer. But we're trying to get through the front. It's just a little bit dark, kind of difficult to see. Just wanted to make sure that there's only one person in the vehicle, but those dark windows, in pretty much every single pursuit we cover, they have the ultra dark tint windows. It does appear that there's just one person inside. We believe it is a male wanted for road rage again, so they do know who this person is, and just waiting to see how they're going to handle this. If sheriff deputies have any interest in this, or any of the other jurisdictions. Now that we're headed westbound on Florence, he's going to go through several small towns here. We've got Southgate, I believe Maywood, Huntington Park possibly, as he starts making his way towards South LA, or are we going to get on the freeway here? Looks like we might be getting on the 710. The 710 freeway. I believe this is going to take us southbound on the 710. So CHP, they may be re-engaging now because they said that they were going to stay out of it unless he gets back on the freeway, which he appears to be doing right now.
Yeah, a lot of damage on the back end of that vehicle. Did you notice on the right side? That looks like a lot of damage there.
It looks like that's
so who knows if that was from the, or is it the gas cap?
Yeah,
but also
like
some damage above that tire, above the rear tire on the right side.
Rear bumper.
And you know, you never know. I mean, we've talked about how far he's driven. Now, what is going on here? Maybe he will run out of gas eventually because he has certainly gone. Oh no, that's because of traffic. Just wondering, Desmond, because he's gone quite a distance, or he's traveled quite a distance.
Yeah, we are in rush hour traffic now on the southbound 710. Just a little bit of ramp traffic. Looks like once he gets on the actual freeway, it's not going to be as slow. We'll just see how this person drives. Sure hope they're not going to be driving the way on the freeway that they were on surface streets. Just totally crazy. But here you see him cutting over, getting onto the freeway. They are still calling out locations for the officers, just keeping everyone on the ground apprised of where his exact locations are, but at the moment it continues to be the law enforcement helicopters overhead keeping eyes on this super crazy driver.
Tell us a little bit, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Des, tell us a little bit about the situation is, if they calm down, then I would imagine if they run the plate, they could just go, Pat, we talked about this, they could just go to the address listed on that plate and pick them up later. I know that they've done that in the past, but we've seen that before, and it looks like he is calming down. If they're happy with that, they might just try to pick him up some other day.
Well, we know, Desmond, that they will pick him up, if it's today or tomorrow, because of what he has done so far. And thank goodness we haven't seen him run into anybody or make contact. Then again, we don't know, because that car has certainly got damage, even on the, looks like the left side too, the back tire.
Yeah, you just wonder if that was associated with the road rage incidents that happened earlier today in Antelope Valley. When we first got this pursuit, we didn't know what the want was, and we found out that it was multiple road rage incidents in the Antelope Valley. The owner is, or at least the car is registered out of the Antelope Valley, so we know that. So we assume that the person registered the car is driving right now, and this is registered. Now he's got his hazards on.
Registered out of Lancaster. So, yeah, the Antelope Valley. But, you know, it makes you wonder exactly what else has been going on, you know, in terms of this guy just participating in road rage or causing road rage. What else is behind that? And I don't know, Desmond, we've seen this before. You never know what kind of state of mind this person is in or why they're doing this in the first place. But the fact that this is, they know the owner, or who this vehicle belongs to, that says a lot. But you also wonder, why are you running like this? And why would you participate in something unless you know your frame of mind was not where it's supposed to be because of, I don't want to put out there what could be possible, but there are a number of possibilities. But again, Desmond, does it look like CHP is backed off even on the freeway, or do we see that unit still following behind?
Well, I'll just widen out, and you see no law enforcement at the moment. We haven't heard that CHP is going to be re-engaging at this point, but you know, they've got to be wondering, you know, who are we dealing with here? There's someone that's wanted for road rage, and then to do the type of stuff that this person was doing on the wrong side of the road at 40 miles an hour, you know, going between two vehicles full speed, blasting through stop signs. You know, I'm sure they're asking, like, is this worth pursuing at this point? Do we or do we just wait until, you know, a different point? Then but yeah, Pat, you know, you wonder what else is going on with this person, if they're just in an incredibly troubled state of mind. I mean, I guess that's fairly obvious that if someone's going to could be driving like that, or always wondering what else is going on. I mean, road rage, I don't know for sure, but I would guess is probably something that's just going to get you, you know, probation. But now you're talking about all of the other stuff that this person's done, you know, real serious felony driving. It's going to be a lot more than probation for this person now, because they've, you know, refused to pull over. And here we go on the shoulder again. And again, there's no units behind this guy, so it's just crazy to see him. If he's he must know that there's helicopters overhead, and maybe he's going to try to take some steps to get out of their visual range. We'll just have to see. But we're getting on the transition now from the 710 to, I believe it's going to take us to the westbound 105.
Well, you know, I think we're pretty lucky when we saw what happened earlier and the displays of aggressive driving, the enraged driving at that point in time, that we got to this position where nobody was injured. As Patty was going through a school zone, he went through basically through a parking lot and skipped over a couple of the curbs there and went opposite direction, fairly rapid pace as well. So thankfully, nobody was injured. Although I do think he clipped a couple cars, so there's some damage there.
Yeah, we thought we saw that on.
To get to this point.
While Desmond was overhead. And it makes you wonder, where is he going? Is all
Oh,
right?
that's the
Here we
CHP
go.
motorcycles behind
Got a
him.
motorcycle behind him, Desmond.
Yeah, well, this is really a nerve-wracking thing. I mean, you know, motorcycles rarely get into pursuits. I mean, I've seen a CHP motorcycle stop another motorcycle and bring a pursuit to an end, but you know, you've got an officer with no steel cage to protect him, and we have a really crazy driver here. So I'm not sure what to make of this. If they're just wanting to kind of keep tabs on this guy, or maybe be nearby if he decides to get out and run somewhere, and then they'll have some boots on the ground, so to speak, that they can try to apprehend him. Maybe that's what they're going to be doing, just trying to keep someone kind of as close to him as possible. But look what happens. You get a unit re-engaging, and now we're just blasting along at 70 miles an hour on the right-hand shoulder.
He's on the shoulder. It looks like he's just kind of keeping a check of this driver, Pat. Obviously, a motorcycle, as Des mentioned, no match for a car like this, but to keep tabs on somebody who's enraged and having multiple road rage incidents, it's probably a pretty good idea, because it doesn't appear that he is slowing down at all.
Yeah, but he's getting a little too close for comfort to some of those other vehicles that we just saw there. So, Desmond, is that motorcyclist now he's getting back into more traffic. Still see the CHP motorcyclist? Is he by himself, or did another unit join in?
Yep. No, it looks like, I'm not sure if he dropped out or is just hanging, way back. But he's definitely not right behind this guy anymore. I don't want to widen out too far and look around. I don't want to lose this vehicle, but they're kind of going back and forth between this. Are we going to track this person, or are we not going to? It doesn't look like it's a very active pursuit at the moment, but just wondering how much longer that this driver can continue driving so insanely here before he crashes or before this vehicle gives out.
And for our viewers who are just joining in, this vehicle was out of Lancaster, and he has made his way. He was on the 605 in Beverly when CHP picked this up, and he has made his way through, he's now in Linwood, but he made his way through Bell Gardens, through Downey, and really trying to ascertain if there's some kind of pattern here. And the most pattern that we've seen is that this person is driving very dangerously and erratically. He will slow down momentarily, but then he will pick up speed again and just continue on a journey to who knows where. We do understand from law enforcement that he was involved in several road rage incidents, and we're assuming that happened earlier today. We have seen a CHP unit behind and then fall back and follow this vehicle from the air. And at one point, Desmond, did you say that even the CHP unit overhead left this alone? He's on the 105 now.
Yeah, he's on the westbound 105. We're approaching the 110, and you can still see some really high speeds. And I gotta tell you, when we've gotten brief looks inside the window, this guy's been on his phone the whole time. It looks like he's got the phone in one hand and the steering wheel in the other hand. So, there's a lot going on here. You have somebody here who's obviously, wanted for road rage, driving super crazy. He might have even barely tapped the side of that vehicle there. What is he doing here? There's no one even. Okay, so there's the CHP motorcycle.
They're definitely keeping tabs
as we
on.
go, southbound on Central, and this is, getting kind of scary. But there you can see the glow of the cell phone in his hand. So is he looking down at the phone while he's driving 65 southbound on Central right now? This is a commuter's worst nightmare right here. This person blasting along, doing anything through red lights, 60 miles an hour, zigging and zagging all over the place, illegal U-turns, and on his phone to boot. This is just a super, super dangerous situation.
And you know what? You never know, Desmond. We're talking about him talking on his phone. Hopefully, this guy isn't live streaming this thing. We've seen
Well,
that
you never
before.
know. Stranger
That they
things
could
have
be
happened.
on any kind of, you know what I mean? Social media.
Sure, it could be.
I'm hoping that's not the case, but it's not as if we have not seen that happen before.
Well, and the glow of that phone continues to move around. It looks like he does not have two hands on the wheel, and he has one hand, and he's moving and jostling that phone back and forth. We can at least see the glow of the phone, and we're just going to get into a tight spot here.
Or he's just going to go up on the.
He's going to go up on the curb, and there's a light pole there.
And I guess he realizes that was kind of difficult, so he didn't quite try to continue there.
they're
But
gonna
that
have to stop
CHP
him.
motorcyclist is right on his tail. But wow,
Yeah,
Desmond.
and
that just, you know what?
and
That
you
seemed to
just-
have amped him up even more.
Oh, this is a resident. Oh, he's
yeah,
going to stop.
well, is this it?
This may
Is
be
this
his
it?
home.
Let's hope he's not going to go into reverse right now. This is someone
That's exactly
wanted
what
for
I was
road rage.
thinking. Wow, this officer is
Yeah.
brave. Look at this.
Really brave. You've got to just imagine this incredibly stressful situation for this officer here as we're off at Bellhaven and El Segundo with the vehicle parked suddenly in this driveway. Hopefully, you know, he came to his senses, and we'll see if he's going to come out. But the car is not stopped yet, so
No.
it's still a really dangerous situation here for this officer who's out with his weapon drawn.
I would
There's
hope
no
that they-
question. There's something. What is that out the? It looks
It's
like
his
there's.
hand.
It's
No,
his
that's the
hand.
door
Okay.
actually opening. Okay.
it looks like he's
and
getting
there's
up.
his hand. And you know what? There's another CHP
Okay.
unit behind. But can you also imagine the neighbors or whoever's nearby? All
Oh
right.
yeah! All of a sudden, the commotion with this guy and all the helicopters overhead, the flashing lights and whatnot, and who knows if this is a friend's house or somewhere that he's familiar with, or if he just decided to give this one up. But what a relief that this is going to be a code 4 here shortly. They just need to clear the vehicle. And LAPD here you see there with the CHP officer, but after all that dangerous driving, it's a real relief that it just came to a sudden and frankly shockingly safe ending.
No question. That's a four-door Chevy. Correct? That's what we. Yeah, four-door Chevy vehicle. Looks
Yeah.
like a young man. And the
Yep.
officers obviously
maybe
doing
a
their
Chevy
check.
Cruze or a Chevy Cruze or a Malibu, perhaps. Not familiar with all of the Chevy lineup, but yeah, it looks like one male in the car here being detained. They just came and cleared the vehicle, and after all that, it looks like we can breathe easier with this code 4, Pat, Jeff.
All right, Desmond. Well, thanks for that. And you know, looking at this young man right now, he looks as calm as he can be, but that certainly was not the case. But we're just glad that this is over. A code 4 has been called, and as far as we know, that no one has been injured. All right, well, we're going to move on here on CBS 2 News. Breaking news to tell you about. Pancaked while parked, a cargo container.
He's giving a little attitude. Driver's giving him a little attitude. Yeah. Hey Matt, here's a plate if you need it. Eight, John Frank Mary 685. Wow, busy guy. Okay. All right, Matt. Good job. Thank you.
Okay, copy. We're feeding it back. We'll get to the Rosemead Boulevard shooting. NOC from Alpha, we're feeding back the